compared to last week. We came in today asking
Doubting.
ourselves, saying they had issues. They stacked so many cooldowns last weekend on top of each other where they just negated the effect. Are they going to be a bit more coordinated this week? And there were definitely a couple of moments where you thought, really, what was the thought process behind that? But overall, they look much cleaner than they did in the week before. But Method is giving them a huge run for them.
Yeah, I feel like both teams, in terms of team spirit and then individual spirit, has really shown up today. And we're ready for a game number 4. Can Method tie it up? The battleground will be Battlefield of Eternity. Fnatic with the choice. And they seem to be going to this map pretty often. They have chosen it now. They got it last week, I remember, too. Yeah, we're going to BOE.
And, yeah, for me, a big team fight map now. And at this point, with the games that we've seen so far, I would give Fnatic the edge here.
Yeah.
Since if you think about it, the game that was won by Method was Tomb of the Spider Queen, and a big part of that was the way that they controlled the map and the objective. They did extremely well with their Tiger's pick and used Odin to defend against the objectives that Fnatic threw against them, and they got a lot of value out of very strong pushes with their own objective thanks to Zul and the rest of the lineup. The whole game basically ended in a big team fight.
Yeah.
But overall, the map was more so in the favor already of Method since they had 2 keeps down at the time and Fnatic struggled to even get a single keep eliminated. So right now I would say that from an overall team fighting perspective, Fnatic has a bit of an edge over their opponent, and if that's reflected in the draft, then I think they have a good chance of winning this with a 3-1. But I personally would love a 5th game.
Yeah, deflecting like we saw in 2-Minute Spider Queen won't work so well on BOE, where fights can be forced. You can defend around your Immortal, but eventually if you deal with enough poke or aggression coming your way, you will fall victim to your opponent. Now, last week we did see double support with a Cassia picked up by Fnatic. Double support is something that is available on this battleground due to the amount of team fights, but also because you don't have to worry about wave clear as much. You can usually pick up one wave clear hero and be just fine as long as you're dealing with a mercenary camp. So look for that in the draft.
That was quick. Method not wasting any time, banning Karazim out. And Karazim was a hero that Fnatic played last week on the map. No ban on Genji this time. No ban on Genji, no ban on Abathur. Okay, so this is already shaking the draft up. But I can understand why Method banned out Karazim. It's an aggressive hero trying to jump in. Fnatic was playing that style on Battlefield of Eternity already. And this time it's shut down early on. It also was part of the double support composition that Fnatic played.
And it was pivotal in that. It allowed for Fnatic with the Karazim and the Cassia to have a save button in case Cassia did get dived upon, which allowed for her to buy time to finish off her Q build that she was pulling off, but also gave them the threat of an idea of the Immortal being burned down if you didn't respect it and try to force engages. So it gave Fnatic the power. It's a very clever ban from that Method, if you ask me.
Uther now picked on the first position for Method, and keep in mind with the victory that Uther just got on the last map, he's now 6-0 in HGC Europe. So from a win perspective, nobody else can hold a candle to him. The most involved support that we have in the European meta is still Rega, sitting at 91% where he's involved, and he's picked in most of these games. He's not banned a lot. He has been banned a few times, but he is played more than any other support in the European scene. The interesting part about it is that he only has a 35% win ratio. And there's Abathur.
Wow, we're getting the Abathur from Fnatic. Abathur, Greymane. Duo that we've seen in the past, a duo that we know is great Ultimate Evolution combos. We used to look at 2017 meta and say, okay, Abathur, a little bit too hard to pull off on this battleground, but he has made quite the resurgence, and we also got him a little bit towards the end of 2017 as well, so Abathur definitely finding his place here on this battleground. Yeah,
Abathur is insanely popular in the European meta, and as I said before, he's currently sitting at 52% bans. He's banned in half of the games. It's pretty incredible because he was only played one time so far. This is the second game that Abathur plays in Europe. We have seen him once on Dragonshire for Team Liquid and they were able to win. So now with the second game we're going to get a bit more data about him. But the only thing that we've seen from him so far is that basically everybody with the exception of Korea, of North America, really respects him. In North America, he also gets banned, but very rarely on the first spot, but not to that extent.
Okay, Method, moving to Haka. Are we getting the Li Ming once again from them? They've shown it in the past? No. It's going to be Malfurion, Dahaka, and Uther. So double support, which does indicate that we'll probably get a auto-attack assassin later on in the draft.
What's Fnatic going to do when it comes to the bans now? Double support once again. This is the map for double support. That's something that we've already talked about a bit. If you you have the big standoff in the middle, you have that sustained battle that you are fighting here. So now again a double support setup for Method. Fnatic hasn't committed to that yet, but with Abathur they have the option to go for the Carapace build, which helps a bit, and so it's a bit less likely that we're going to see complete double support for them. But Method already hinting at it again. Double support still absolutely valid on Battlefield of Eternity.
Do you ban the Cassia here, or is Vala a threat? Okay, they ban the Cassia, which has been getting a little bit more popular on this battleground.
Yeah.
It's the Nurok and his Q build that has taken EU by storm.
I wouldn't say by storm, she was picked once.
By storm.
But the build has definitely caught on.
Single storm.
The build has caught on, that's definitely true.
Are we getting into Vala in this draft?
It's actually interesting since Vala hasn't been played once in Europe yet. So you could play, on this map you can play Vala. The main reason why Vala is not played anymore is because she highly depended on the double support keeping her alive. Now the double support is more or less gone. Vala doesn't make appearances anymore. She could be played for Method right now. But I'm actually not sure. There's still a few other options for them that they have. I mean, even looking at Lunara again, who we've seen a few times. But Vala is an option if you want to commit to an arrow build here. But you have only, with this setup, you're going to go for main tank as well. So you need one hero that can definitely pack a punch.
Zul'jin is an option, a risky one. There's also Tracer floating around for auto attackers. Jimmy, if you really want to go crazy, but I think Jimmy's a little bit too far. Even I wouldn't be down with that.
I would pick Murky over Jimmy.
Really? Are you being serious?
I love Reyna, but I think if they pick that now, that will be immediate counter picks that exploit his lack of mobility, like instantly. I love
found
him.
How to get Murky drafts
I love Jimmy, but he just has some glaring weaknesses that make him very undesirable in most cases. There's other heroes out there. Even I would even like. Before I pick Jimmy, I pick Vala, I pick Tychus, I pick Lunara, so I wouldn't pick Murky. That was just like trying to make you happy.
Big matches and big statements coming from Caldor today.
Yeah, sure.
A double tank coming in with an Abathur and a Greymane. It's going to be Muradin and Arthas. So Arthas to hold that top lane, Muradin to be the main tank here for Fnatic. Going to see Breeze on the Mura. And it's actually interesting. Not much HGC today. We did get him banned out in this fourth match, but still, usually you would see that from Breeze, and we're getting different tanks played.
I mean, you have to also consider two things here. First of all, Arthas and Muradin have a fair amount of synergy because of the slow that can proc Muradin's level 7. And also, all three heroes that we now see for Fnatic are fantastic targets for Symbiote.
True. Muradin late game, level 7 comes in. Become quite the tank and start putting out damage too. The longer you stay in the fight, the better it is. Arthas with Ultimate Evolution clone, yeah, everything is looking good here for Fnatic. All we need is support for them. Rhaegar is up and available. Do you think Rhaegar's a go-to?
I've actually not really looked too much at the supports, but yeah, Rhaegar could definitely
Lucio?
be played.
I think Rhaegar and Lucio are the two that I immediately just beat.
Yeah, Rhaegar and Lucio are the two heroes that I would look at as well. Lucio is actually interesting since we haven't seen him in the previous games at all. And he was pretty popular in the first weekend. The thing is with Greymane, Ancestral just feels like such a great tool right now.
Make sure he doesn't get locked down either on that root. Can give him a cleanse right away. So, what does Smexy want to play here for Fnatic? It's going to be the Lucio to empower the Arthas. Sound Barrier to help out with that pulse bomb if he has to.
Yeah, get the speed advantage in as well. As long as you keep Greymane alive, you are in a decent spot. But even outside of Greymane, as we said before, it's a pretty sick setup that Fnatic currently runs. You have a potential copy on Greymane. You can copy Arthas, who's also fantastic. You have symbiote targets on basically every single hero. Even Lucio can be absolutely frightening with a symbiote head. Not quite in the team fight, but if you catch someone out on the map, the speed bonus alone is going to be helping you to hunt them down. So very annoying to play against.
We have to thank the All-Stars matches for that in 2017 at the MSB, where we got to see our first Lucio Abathur, and that was quite fun from the east side. Now, as we gear up for game number 4, do you look over at Method and see their draft and think they have the capability here to get the kills they want?
I think they have the tools, because I believe that with Anubarak alone, they already have a great aggression. The question for me is simply how much pressure is going to be on Tracer. And that's something they have a lot of tools to keep her alive, but still, when you are sitting there and Tracer gets focused, she still needs to get out of the fight, and then most of your damage is gone. So I'm not sure if as the solo damage dealer here, she will really be able to turn the tides, especially since her targets are quite limited on the side of Fnatic. So I could see that backfire. If the CC heroes for Fnatic are on point and keep track of her, then I think this could be pretty dangerous. Especially since, if you think about it, the Immortal Race also goes heavily over to Fnatic.
That it does. Well, it's game 4 here. Will we be able to have Method come in and get a victory on Fnatic, or will Fnatic close it out with a clean 3-1? It's time to find out as we move into Battlefield of Eternity.
And starting to the left of Battlefield, we currently have Method with Schwimpy on Malfurion, Ethereal and Ubarak, Curson on the main healer Uther, Arcana on the Hawkeye again, and Nick, of course, on Tracer.
On the right side, in the red, up 2-1 over their opponents. Fnatic, Bad Vinny on Arthas, going to have Mane playing the Grey Main, Smexy on Lucio, Quacknix will be your out their player today, and Breeze showing off the burden.
I'm really interested to see how much of an impact Nick has now. Since if you look at the setup of Fnatic, it's rough to take these guys down. You are not going to... Your two targets that you are looking at mainly are going to be Greymane and Lucio. Of course, there's always the chance that you can put the final blow in against Muradin or Arthas as well, but that's definitely something where you don't want to get too close to him with the CC that they have. Now, the saving grace for Method is, of course, that with a double support, they will have Cleanse available, they have Panic buttons, Divine Shield coming in. But overall, Fnatic has better base race, better race against the Immortal mainly, and they also have the Abathur as a bit of a game changer once that they are able to put him more into that global position.
Little cute opening here from Method. Not showing their teammates for a long while, trying to prevent Fnatic from opening up the map a little bit too much and pushing with their Abathur composition. Fnatic, in return, played safe here, and we won't have anything too aggressive from either of our teams. Method realizing, okay, there's an Abathur team on the opposing side. What can we do to take advantage as we move towards the late game? Let's try and start our Sappers in the bottom. Not Sappers, Goatmen. Gonna go ahead and grab them.
Yeah, and... I know, what do you think about the draft? What do you think about Tracer here in this setup?
I'm worried, but it's Nick, so
yeah.
I'm okay with it, if that makes any sense.
The thing is they have an insane amount of sustain in the middle, so that's pretty awesome for them.
Yeah.
They just don't have a lot of tools that can poke from a distance. So whenever it comes to the standoff, I feel they're going to have a harder time to push into their opponent, because the defender's advantage that we have for Fnatic is pretty strong around their own Immortals, since they can try and get a lockdown into an Immortal stun. And if that ever happens, then you're screwed.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a, okay, we need plays from our team to have a composition. If I were to look at these drafts with the team names completely blurred out, I would immediately look at Fnatic and say, okay, this is one game. They've got this on lock.
Yeah.
They have the race, they have the fight, they may have some issues going to level 10, but as long as Lucio doesn't get picked off, I really don't think anyone can die here. But I'm willing to give it a chance here. Method believes in this draft as they are on the line. They have to win or they're out.
Exactly. If they don't take it here, then Fnatic walks away with the series. And we talked already before we started into today's game is that at this point, or before the series started, Fnatic had a 13-0 leads in Maps 1 against Method, the former team expert. So that, of course, has already changed with Method winning to the Spider Queen. But that was also the old lineups, the old setups that played here. And that even included the Western Clash, where Team Expert, now Team Method, played last year. So this was one of those games where everybody expected it can go either way, and that's still the case. But let's see how those first objectives go as we have the Immortals appearing on the map. And immediately, the one that is attacked is Breeze, heavily at that, but helped out by Abathur already as is.
And the pulse bomb came out. Breeze has survived. It's good news for Method, but they know they have to bring the fight towards their opponents, so they are doing so now. Even put some damage on the Immortal. The moment Fnatic moves in for an engage with Lucio, though, they pull away. They don't want to get caught in that Immortal or booped into a stun.
They have a side lead, and now Abathur has also started to change his own position on the map. Is now finding himself at the bottom to soak some extra experience, and they are already walking away. We're not quite with a level lead, but they're closing in on it.
That they are. Greymane burning down the Immortal on the opposite side here. The race continues for our teams, who will win the halftime show first. It would appear that we are actually neck and neck, but Method slightly ahead here. by roughly 1,000 health.
Yeah, and Fnatic actually sneaking around here a bit. They have, of course, the vision advantage thanks to the Toxic Nest. Breeze is jumping in. They're very aggressive with it, trying to go for a Nubarak, but it's Bad Benny who's on the receiving end of most of the damage here, walking away. No kill for Method just yet. Both of the teams still looking for opportunities. And in the meantime, the little slugger, the bot lane, already tempted to walk farther out to grab experience, moves to the top. Right next to Arcana, as Dehaka was also attempting to get more EXP for his own team.
Now that Dehaka pick, a little scary for that Abathur. Not able to put his body in lane, or Dehaka can show up at any point and slurp him down for breakfast. Fnatic is in a position to be defensive, but Method is finding a way in. They're going straight on the left side, working on the Immortal. With Breeze leading the charge, though, we haven't engaged. Curson's getting lower and lower. Mana going in for the slash. Can he get it? Yes, he does. He uses Paul and gets the kill.
4-man Howling Blast, and in the meantime, Abathur soaks XP, is closing in on level 7 for his team. Kill against Uther, allowing Fnatic to be even more aggressive, and they get the second one, and Nubarak is down 2. Great aggression coming from Fnatic. They're still behind in the Immortal race, but Greymane is splitting off from the rest of the team to start working on Method's Immortal on the right side of the map.
Yes, Greymane should be able to close that gap and quickly. Fnatic spends the rest of the resources trying to defend here. Stormbolt will connect on Arcaner, but Method making the call. Try to get as much damage as you can on this Immortal. We need to win this race. Can they get it? They are closer and closer. Mana is deciding to come back and fight.
They want a kill. They want another kill. They're giving up the Immortal. They're trying to capitalize with a kill. They get the stun, and Dehaka is down, and he's not the only one. Nick is low. He gets the heal, but can he escape here? Doesn't have another teleport. It's a triple kill and could be a quad as Aethero desperately tries to escape, gets body blocked. Bad Benny moves away. Everybody else is still focusing on the Beetle, and Aethero will fall.
Fnatic.
Wow.
Loses the Immortal race, but in exchange they get an experienced lead and an easy defense with a couple of pickoffs. Fnatic happy with that engage, the call being made, that big stun coming in too, helping Fnatic secure those kills.
Yeah, that was 6 kills to 0 in Fnatic's favor. The Immortal winning it gives Method, it gives them at least an opportunity to create some space and get extra damage up to the top wall, which will lead to some experience for them. But Fnatic is really coming out swinging here, and that's not a good start for Method at all against the Abathur composition of all things.
Because when Abathur hits level 10 and gets that double Greymane or the double Arthas in the composition, things will get very scary for Method, and they'll have a harder time preventing those kills from occurring. Method does come to the top lane. Attempts to grab a turret or two for experience, but Fnatic's quick rotation and Abathur's hold on the bottom lane allows for them to make sure they're matching, at least in terms of numbers.
And a lot of people are always asking, why is Abathur such a great pick? Why is he being banned this much? And you can see why right now. He's the reason why Fnatic is so far ahead in experience, and at the same time, they were also able to defend and attack the Immortal the entire time. The symbiote alone on heroes like Arthas, Myrddin, and Greymane did a lot for them. And in the meantime, Quacknix was just moving his body to soak experience with the body, with symbiote as well, and now they're heading into level 10. But here comes another fight, and this time Mana might fall, and indeed he does. That's the counter kill. Method is starting to get some headway here and showing signs of life.
This is what I'm liking about this team, though, for Method. They, even behind, know the pivotal moments that they have to make a play. A lot of teams just kind of soak it out, try to clear out their lanes, get towards an even footing in heroics at least, and then fight on the next talent advantage. But Method is finding these moments. They've done it now twice, 3 times now in this entire series, where they find the big pick, and that puts them closer and closer to getting into a spot where they can take on Fnatic. But then situations like this happen here. Bad Benny comes in with a big flank. He's level 10. Army of the Dead comes out, and Shwimpy is looking pretty dead. Yeah,
they want to go for Malfurion here, and Mana says, you guys take care of the rest. I got Shwimpy, and that's the kill against Uther, starting with the first of the supports. And Shwimpy should fall. If Mana doesn't get him, someone else should just make the way down, and there's Breeze already ready for the jump. They're converging upon him, and that's the death of Malfurion. 10 versus 9, the Immortals on the map. Dehaka goes for Abathur at the top lane, trying to get him here, but Smexy is ready, and Arcana, what started out as a bit of an aggressive move against Abathur, has now to run away as we see Fnatic moving straight for the Immortal and the Huffman.
Now, good news for Method is they just hit level 10. They're going to be behind in the Immortal race, but now they have a chance. Can they seize it? Isolation, Cocoon here, so they can get a number advantage in the team fight. And then, of course, you have Twilight Dream if Tracer is jumped upon. Can they get the fight they want, and can they get rid of Greymane?
I also have to say that Quagnix plays pretty aggressive as an Abathur. He's very far out of the map most of the time and oftentimes also showing himself against the Dehaka. So far it has paid off for him, but that's something that we see a lot of Abathur players do a bit less these days. Here's again the kill attempt, and this time Breeze might be the target. Divine Storm comes out over the Divine Shield, gets the stun and confirms the kill as we just see the Cocoon dropping onto the support. So Smexy trying to get out here. Another kill, this time against Method as they lose Dehaka. Another one, blow for blow. Malfurion is down. Nick still trying to get the kill here, but Aethero is the one falling.
Method continues to run away as Fnatic turns the tide of battle. Only Murden falling in that fight. And a big play from Arcana. Almost got another kill for Method, but sadly Lucio was able to sneak on out and get that huge sound barrier. And now the Immortal race goes into the favor of Fnatic, and things are looking dire for Method.
Yes, they definitely are. It's still a level disadvantage as we are continuing in the game, and a big Immortal for Fnatic as they are starting to move in. Smexy also with some heads-up play here. At first, he found himself in the Cocoon, which was the main reason why he could not help Breeze to keep Muradin alive. So he falls, but after that, he doesn't die. He moves out, helps the rest of his teammates, drops the sound barrier. That was well done. But I like the choice on the side of Uther, the aggressive Divine Storm over Divine Shield. Divine Shield would have been a great tool, allowing Nick to go a bit deeper. But if you want that lockdown, if you want to pin a target down like they just did with Muradin, then Uther can, of course, with Divine Storm, create an enormous amount of CC in combination with his initial stun.
A couple of layer things happening there. Method was in the side of the bush with a Thorough using a Nubrek in case he wanted to get engaged with Dehaka aiding, but Bad Vinny sniffing that out, came around the left side, and now we're going to have an engage on the bottom side. Arcana missing out on the big tongue. A Thorough towards the right for the engage. That Vinny will get pulse bomb. There will be a Divine Storm coming out, but Arthas, unable to survive, gets locked down. Big Howling Blast connecting.
It's not over yet though. Breeze moves in again. They go for Schwippy. They get the kill and they get the double as Uther falls too. Both of the supports are down. Aethero is able to take down Lucio, but he himself is also 14 kills against 4. It is a bloodbath as we have Fnatic moving through the wall at the keep. 1.5 levels ahead now for the Swedish-French connection.
Method does defend though. They will be getting level 13, and they have their keeps up and available. They still have a chance here. It's starting to get worse and worse so as the game progresses. These important talents landing here. Fnatic constantly moving up in experience. They should be getting close to 16 before the next Immortal phase. Yeah,
and I'm very, very worried for Method because if you look at the kills, and again, we're talking up to level 13. It's 14 kills against 4, and Fnatic is just getting stronger and stronger. The 13 power spike alone is crazy. Healing, static, and so much influence. Look at the survivability that we have even after Arthur's falls. First of all, perfect sync here with the Abathur copy and the sound barrier. Even the Abathur copy gets the shield. They can turn around, go in. That's a 4 versus 5 at this point. And then we have Abathur coming in again, helping out, and he can especially keep Breeze and Quagnix, and Greymane alive pretty easily with Soma Transference now. And more damage is just gonna chunk in on 16 for Greymane too. So this entire setup is just insanely scary. Method's idea was to get an early lead, and they have failed to do that. So right now they are struggling to find a good fight where they can get ahead and maybe turn things around.
What I also liked about that fight was we got to see the display of what a cloned Arthas can do. His base kit is really, really strong on its own. Being able to land the Howling Blast, we saw 4-man getting hit there on the fight, and the Eda chasing him down is wonderful. Even though Method was able to take out 1 Arthas, they have to take out 2 in a fight, Eldor.
Great heads-up stun here also by Breeze, anticipating where Nick would go with Tracer. Doesn't net a kill, nobody else around, but still a pretty cool move here by him, just making sure that he anticipates Tracer's movements when he throws out the stun, and that makes it very annoying for Nick to just try and dart around, which comes back to what we said earlier as the draft unfolded. There's so much CC that even with a double support, it's really tricky for Nick to go deep and try to find a kill.
Now Method is setting up defense while Nick on Tracer is working on the Immortal side. They peel off the Tracer because she has the most damage, but also because she can get back to the fight quickly if she has to, and they can peel to her. Another find on Bad Vinny. Pulse Bomb comes out, Silence will connect, it's getting low, and Bad Vinny gets picked off again. Lucio taking the wrap on their side here, will be able to get popped out by Mene.
Fnatic still willing to go in, but that was perfect by Method. Just before Fnatic hit 16, they go for that move. So extremely well done here. Arthas is still in. It's a 4 versus 5 at this point though. It's all about buying a bit of time for Bad Benny to coming back. The copy goes down. 16 is still not quite ready. But at this point, they're yielding some ground. Tracer is already on the Immortal, so the halftime show should go over to Method. But Fnatic is going to be back in force with Arthas after the halftime show is done. And that should also be with a level 16 advantage over their opponents.
That's the important part. The 16 connecting. One more hat here on a different lane. Probably the top side should net that 16. But Method takes a lead in the Immortal phase. A great amount of health available for them here. They can dance around a little bit more. They themselves would like to get the 16, but the thing is, Fnatic shouldn't be allowed to happen.
And now, what really, really is scary for Method is the 16 on Greymane. Executioner in this setup is going to basically net Mena a 30% damage increase no matter what. There's so many slows here, especially with Abathur as well. And I don't think there's anything that can stop Mena in these setups right now. He's going in. They're trying to rip them apart. This time, no kill against Arthas, no kill against Breeze. And this is the first one to fall. It's the Haka, and they can go straight for seconds if they want to. Right now, the 16 power spike is insanity for Fnatic, and I don't think that Method will be able to deal with this.
Method was hoping to get a pick, and they found the first target they could find, which was Breeze on the Muradin, and he tanked everything there, using Avatar, being able to drop in the healing as well, Stoneform helping out too. Nick looking for a fight, and will find a Muradin on the back left line, so for 40 seconds here, we will now have a Muradin up and available. Bad Benny chasing forward, trying to get the Howling Blast. Nick is able to sidestep it, but can he live? No. Finally falls victim here as we have the chase constantly happen.
Yeah, they just chase him down. They saw the kill against the Breeze, and they say, hey, if you already start using your charges, we're going to get you. And now they're trying to do even more here. The Haka is back. He died earlier, and he's already back to business. Cocoon is being used, and this might be the chance for Method to turn it around.
Twilight Dream 20.
Look at Nina again with that damage, but the kill against Arthas.
The root comes out, it's just enough. A Thorough is low, gets healed up by Curson, but Curson, he is out of mana. Method are doing their best to just stay in this game here, constantly brawling, but finding a pick on Arthas is great. He won't be up for 30 seconds, and here comes the Tracer just spawning now.
Yeah, Method is definitely putting in the work right now. They are fighting tooth and nail here to make sure that they have a chance to stay in this, but it's extremely rough. As I said before, you can see in those fights now how the Executioner on Greymane plays a role, because everybody basically slows or puts a slow onto Method. So Mena's damage output is way, way higher right now. Abathur's level 16 alone in Venom Spikes already do that. So that hat alone has such an impact. And the synergy between Arthas, Greymane, Abathur, and Muradin are insane. And they're going in again. Method looking for their kill. Nick was low, but they might get the kill against Greymane, and they do. And that is the perfect opening here for Method in this fight. It's impressive what they can pull off here.
I can't believe Nick didn't die either. He made a big mistake and got stunned there by the Immortal, but able to live by his team. Arcane lane on the drag, having Twilight Dream follow up into the amazing Silence, helping enough get the pick on Greymane. And can they win the Immortal race? So Method has to come down and defend.
Yeah, Fnatic has to attack right now, because Method make the perfect move, and as they see the copy, they put down the immediate Rebel Malfion and they move away. You see the copy, you move away. You don't want to fight. You want it to expire, and then you re-engage. So Method played this perfectly. I am so impressed by them right now. Been harping about the power spikes of Greymane. He's not the only one. The 16 talent, if you look at Abathur, if you look at the survivability that Muradin has now with his Stoneform, and also the 16 of Lucio, their power spike is so insanely strong, and Method has played around it perfectly. They got several isolated kills right now. They were in the last fight able to take out Greymane first of all, and now they're building up some momentum. I'm really impressed of how well they are playing with this and the calls they're currently making here.
A Thorough setting up for the big flank on the side, gets scattered out, but Bad Benny finds him with a Howling Blast. Luther will be able to get the heal here, and Method working together as a team. It is breathtaking as they push with the Immortal.
Yeah, that's of course now the power of the double support. Even though Aethero was just scouted out and nearly killed, they can heal him up within seconds. And that's the big advantage that they have with power support, double support. Just having the sustainability in these fights. And Method is the one walking for the first keep here.
Without Arthas on the field, though, they have to be careful, knowing that he might be in for a flank. It is scouted out by Schwimpy. They were setting up for an engage on the left.
Bad Benny realized that he was in a lot of trouble there, so he immediately moved away. Here comes the drag, and armies being popped. They're going in. They want the fight. They completely neglect the Immortal right now. Here comes the Sound Barrier. The Son of Uther comes out as well, and the Divine Storm comes in. They're trying to go for Arthas once again. The isolation is there, and Arthas falls. The counter kill against Uther immediately afterwards, though. Now Arcana finds himself in trouble as well, and Nubarak going in. Who's going to take the next kill here?
Uther can keep healing, though. They're just fine for now. A drag comes out, and they still have a healer with that Malfurion. Schwimpy and crew are going for chase. Nick looking for the fight. A big splash of cocktail, though, connecting. Nick trying to stay alive. Can he get the kill? He gets it. Members alone for Method. Malfurion falls. It is a bloodbath, Caldor.
Breeze is going in once again. He has the Abathur head. He's going for it. He's taking down Nick. That's the double kill. Breeze is still low, though. Smexy trying to save him here and is able to body block. And he's chasing. He's waiting for the symbiote. He's waiting for someone to help him out here. Breeze is making his way back into the fight, as well as the Haka Dice, and they're going for Nubarak once more. And Nubarak, he's going to fall. And Theo is out of mana, out of hit points, and that is it. A complete team wipe against Method. What an insane fight.
Too fast, too furious, and Fnatic find themselves ahead and experience 19 and a quarter. Let's take a quick replay at this fight. Twilight Dream coming out there, the Sound Barrier before the Divine Storm to keep everyone alive for Fnatic, but the big isolation landing on Arthas. He can't heal. He can't use Army of the Dead. So Method, turn around, focus him down, and take out the target.
And then, of course, we have that big part where Abathur jumps in after the copy is down. The copy is down, and now look at Muradin. You can't kill that guy. Muradin with the Abathur head, the symbiote, the Soma transference on level 13 and the slows. It allows Mane to get more damage in, and then it's a 2 versus 3, but they don't care because they have Abathur. That makes it more or less an even fight, and at that point they just keep everyone alive. Breeze even gets out of here, and Smexy, he's not afraid chasing too. He knows he's going to have a symbiote head in a second.
And as we move to level 20, no team has lost a keep yet. Fnatic's top keep is low on health, but it's still there. No catapults showing up.
Look at the kill count. We had 31 kills in this game. 10 to 21 in Fnatic's favor. Massive, massive slugfest that we have here.
Pretty bonkers.
Yeah, it's a crazy game.
Fnatic with a major lead, though, in the Immortal phase. Method will have to continue playing Magic Tricks here just to stay alive. Nick dodging on the Howling Blast, able to back up and hang out with Schwimpy. They want 20. There it is. Method will have to force the issue and defend on their Immortal. Yeah, at this point, there's also the camp pushing at the top that works in Fnatic's favor, but it's actually taken down by the fort itself. Now the 20 is there. Rewind alone for Nubarak is fantastic at this point. Let's not forget the Haka's 20. Those silencers, they are brutal. If that comes into play here and they hit a good one, then could be all that they need. But also, we have still Rewind on the side of Breeze, for example, with a healing static as his level 13 talent that makes him even harder to kill. And already Method is struggling taking him down. And don't forget about Abathur. Hive Mind at level 20, being able to drop that hat on multiple members that are nearby, too, in fact. Watch out for that. That will be great for the Poke Wars. Anti-Magic
Shell for Arthas, also important. He's been a priority target, and he had a really tough time, even with Army Pop, to keep himself alive. They go for Breeze, the Sound Barrier, and it's not enough. He doesn't get the healing static off.
Cocoon.
Method is playing such a fantastic team fight here.
The drag, can he hit it? Misses it. The poop immediately. A thorough goes on the right side. Smexy dodges the engage. He stays alive and he races away.
Smexy is a god. That juke to the left, they didn't see that coming, and they engage again. Breeze is down. They don't care. They go for it. Isolation comes out, hitting 2 at this point. Benny a bit low here, but they're trying to go for Curse. Curse is already low. He's getting healed by Mifleur once again. The Howling Blast
cocktail value.
Nobody kills him. He's still alive. Uther falls, but of course he has his 20. Uther down once. So they proc the trade, and he is going to come back with his 20, but here comes the re-engage as Method moves in. Min dies, and that is big for Method.
Bad Benny just trying to buy some time right now so he can have his members spawn up, and also to slow down the kill on the Immortal. He's going to fall, but he bought some precious seconds here. 50 seconds until Greymane is up and available. Method goes straight for the Immortal. They know they need this.
Method is on
Look at the bottom.
fire.
Look at the bottom there.
They're absolutely on fire, but yeah, this is a massive problem, and Zero is trying to deal with it. Abathur is not going to be able to do too much here, but the rest of the team is starting to move into the middle again. They're trying to slow this down, and let's keep the Abathur factor in mind. Abathur is in. They're looking for it. They're trying to buy a bit more time for Greymane to come back too. They know that a Nubarak is not there, so they can push them back for now. But it still seems unlikely that Method is not going to win this Immortal. Method is going for it, and Fnatic needs to be careful. They need to move back. If they lose one hero here, then it's over. And it's already going to be rough enough to make sure that this Immortal is not ending the game.
The moment Anubra backed up, they knew they had to get away. The Cocoon is too valuable and too great at picking off somebody here. They have to have all 5 members up for defense. And now, another Immortal goes over to Method, and they have taken a composition that I doubted and made me a believer.
Method is playing fantastic here. Nick in this late game is finding so many kills and put so much damage on. It's really impressive that they are able to take these fights. But we have a bit of a move at the bot lane here. They're actually trying to sneak in for the keep. They can raise core.
See if they do it.
With a double Grey main, they can go for the core.
Look at that.
They're probably going to try and disrupt the TPs back.
Ooh,
there's a Cocoon already being used so that he can't use the TP back. And he gets it in. He's going to fall. He's definitely going to fall.
They have to race now, right? They have to. They're going to lose this game. If the Immortal, it pushes forward, they won't be able to defend it. They're going for it.
This is the second time that they're trying to race, and I think this time they can't do it. Everybody goes back. There's nobody to stop the portals. There's nobody to stop the portals. Sound barrier is perfect. They're getting it low, but can they really get enough damage in? Triple root is in. Double Grey main. 1 Grey main. 50%. I'm not sure. I don't think they have the damage output, or do they? 30%. Health. It's so close. Breeze himself might be able to do it.
Abathur,
it might just be enough. It's
10?
14, 50, 10. They're going for it. And Fnatic wins the game. Smexy has 2 hit points left or something, and they actually win it. The victory for Fnatic for the second time in this best of 5. They are forced to go for the core call, and for the second time they win it. Bad Benny trying to He's trying to delay. He's trying to shut the town portals down as they go for the core move, because the first thing that Method realizes is they have 2 Abathurs.
Yeah.
Sorry, they have an Abathur, so they have 2 Grey mains. The core damage is insane. We need to go back. So Benny moves in, tries to interrupt them. Perfect reaction. Cocoon, they go for it. And at that point, Fnatic says, we have to.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
The game's lost. Game's over. We need to go in right now, and if we don't win here, then there's no way we stop this Immortal and we stop that push. And
they pull it off.
That was insane. Lucio had like no hit points anymore.
And with that, Fnatic takes the series 3-1, but you cannot count Method out. 2 core calls to the wire was only the reason Fnatic pulls us out, and we don't go to game number 5. Let's go ahead and check out the replay here of that race, because it was phenomenal. Remember, on the backside, Arthas is constantly trying to prevent the rotations. An immediate Cocoon allows for Method to have 2 options. They can back if they have to, if the call is made, or they can turn around and kill Arthas. They decide to come back and kill him, and that's when the situation got dire.
Once they saw the commitment to Arthas, they immediately moved back onto the core. And it's the double Grey main that really makes the difference here. Great root that comes out as well. They're trying to not stack but move around the core. It's really tricky at this point to make sure that you spread enough so that you don't take the splash damage from the core, but you also don't die to your opponent. So Mena again just getting the damage in. And now watch Lucio. Smexy was so low already. Breeze gets all the damage in. He's trying to jump over, but actually gets interrupted at that point, so he dies even a bit early. And then they just barely get the damage in.
And they stay clumped too because of Hive Minds. Some may be wondering why they all clumped up, why they allowed for that root to happen. The Hive Mind coming in, giving in the shields, allowing for the extra damage, allowed for them to get that by a millisecond victory over Method. Impressive play here by Fnatic.
And I want to come back to the call from Fnatic to go for the core, because you haven't seen it. We started a clip as the engagement happened upon Arthas, but what happened first is Fnatic shows at the bot lane and goes for the keep. And that is when everybody, with the exception of 1 hero from Method, is already on the side. And we have Arthas interrupting. Then the Cocoon comes out. But as the Cocoon comes out, a few heroes have already started to walk away and were trying to portal back. That's why Fnatic moved back in the first place from the keep and threatening core, because they were basically thinking, hey, if they actually portal back now
we have a defense
and try to engage into us with a Nubarak, and a Nubarak drops a Cocoon, we are fighting without Arthas. We don't want that. So they needed to move back at this point. But once that the heroes come out of the fog of war and drop the Cocoon on Arthas, they immediately know that right now there's a commitment by Method to take Arthas down first, which triggered them moving back onto the core. So it's a really tricky situation, because if you don't see a Nubarak, you don't have vision, and he appears in the fight and drops the Cocoon there, you're very, very likely to lose a target or lose one of your heroes, and then it doesn't really matter anymore, because you have an Immortal that is chunking down your keep already. You're going to lose 1-2 heroes near the core of your opponent. They're going to move cross map and going to finish. So nice back and forth that we have there, and I still can't believe that they won the game.
We only got 4 games, but it felt like a best-of-5 series.
Oh, yeah.
That is for sure. Method is coming out to play, and this is a team that you will have to keep your eyes on throughout the remaining weeks here at HGC as we go through the next couple weeks and see who's going to be going to our Western Clash. But I have a really nice feeling here that I feel like Method is going to be one of those teams that is contending for one of those spots. But Fnatic gets the victory on the day, and that means in the standings they are currently 2-0, currently tied up with Team Liquid.
Yeah, Europe is so much fun at this point. The games that we've seen are just crazy, and today was... It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was definitely a bit of a present starting us off into the weekend with a fantastic series between 2 teams that we expect all the way at the top. So great play by Method, and at the end of the day, it's Fnatic who walks away with the victory, but this series could have ended in their favor. Started off with Infernal Shrines with a core call by Fnatic that worked out, and it ended with a core call by Fnatic as they are able to claim the victory on Infernal Shrines too.
Well, speaking of Fnatic, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings now as it will be updated to reflect what we just witnessed here at the HGC. Hanging up there with Team Liquid. So here it is. Team Liquid with the 2-0 from last week. They had 2 matches and they did well in. Fnatic with their 2-0 now as they've beaten the Leftovers and now Method. Method around the middle of the pack. 1-1, but I guarantee they're going to be around that middle of the pack for a while now. And we'll be getting more updates as the weekend continues. This is only our first series of the weekend. So if you're new here, welcome to the HGC. This is the Europe edition. And if you need a team or 2 to root for, picking one of the 2 that you just witnessed, not a bad choice.
Yeah, definitely. Great teams, great skill level, and also cool personalities on both sides. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to kick the day off.
That was. Speaking of cool personalities, we have Bad Benny on the phone here to talk for Fnatic. Bad Benny coming out with a 2-0 for Fnatic, but granted, you guys got a 3-1, but I have a feeling it didn't feel that dominating to you guys.
No, it was a very hard series, and much credit to Method. They played really well.
Yeah, they were pretty ridiculous.
Right now, yeah.
I actually want to talk to you about the competition we had on BOE with the Tracer composition. Did you guys expect to have that much trouble with it?
I think we kind of had it under control, but we did some crucial mistakes that made it way too close. And they capitalized on that very well. So they made it a very close game, and much closer than we expected it to be, at least.
Before I send you over to Caldor, can I pry a little bit? What crucial mistakes are you talking about? Do you mind sharing with us?
Just some rotation stuff, like we got caught out of position some of the times where we wanted to wait for like one hero to rotate so we could collapse when everyone's in position, but instead someone takes too much damage before or someone gets caught before, which is Method making a good play then realizing we're not in position yet.
Awesome.
But, yeah.
Very cool. Well, over to Caldor. Thank you, Bad Benny.
Thank you.
So first of all, congratulations to the win. You guys definitely kept us on the edge of our seats, especially in on that last map. Just overall, when you look at your opening into HGC 2018, are you so far happy with your performance overall? I mean, you got 2 wins, that's of course great,